There was a play that was put on in 2019 in London. It previewed. It's called 2020 Visions, written by the playwright Paddy Gormley. And it's a journey through the mind of an 80-year-old called Alec, who's frail and half-blind in the year 2020. During the piece, Alec recalls 3 love affairs that shaped his life, and then the emotions that come with them. It's recently been recorded as an audio play, and as I say, it started off as a theatre play. And we're going to have a tiny clip from the audio, and then we're going to speak to the playwright himself, Paddy Gormley. This is 2020 Visions excerpt.
I remember my parents' optician telling me I had 20/20 vision. Now I can hardly see past the end of my nose. They're saying it's cataracts. When it comes to memory, though, I'm long-sighted. I can still remember 60 years ago as if it were now. 1960 vision, I call that.
I really thought that last piece was first class.
The cathedral underneath the sea.
Of course. I see. You should have said. We would have pictured it more clearly.
Debussy didn't seem to think so. He presents the music first. Then he appends the title in small print right at the end.
Ah, so we're to draw our own conclusions from the music.
Maybe.
It's like life.
I'm sorry?
You've got to let it run its course. But you cannot be sure you understand it till...
I'm really pleased to say the playwright Paddy Gormley joins us now on The Late Show. Hello, Paddy.
Hello, Joe.
It's lovely to speak to you, and I'm really intrigued by this. Is it autobiographical, semi-autobiographical, or all fiction?
Well, one of my friends, when he heard it, said, Paddy, you're so boring. This man's had affairs with 3 women at 20-year intervals, and there you are, a plain old husband and grandfather.
So
not quite biographical, really.
But it is, I mean, the Alec is aged 80. Alec, whose story this is aged 80. And the 3 love affairs that shaped his life are 1960, 1980 and 2000. And the play is very much about time travel. But it doesn't go in order, does it? It jumps around. Is that right?
It doesn't go in order. It's very much like the way our minds work. We go from one thought and then we're back in time and then we're into the present again and so on. So it is disjointed in that way, but it builds up the picture of the 3 stories gradually. And as people have always said, it keeps you guessing right to the end.
Maurice Thorogood has directed it, and he says in his introduction in one of the printouts that I have that time travel is the friend of a playwright. And it's a very clever thing to say because you can use dramatic license, can't you? We allow ourselves to be taken into whatever chapter you want us to go into.
Indeed. And of course, it gives you the opportunity as well to play around with what happened in the past, because our recollections are never quite as clear as we might want them to be.
And I think that's a really important point because people will all remember a situation differently because we'll see it from different perspectives. And the whole cliche, rose-tinted glasses, all this sort of, we do think of the past. It's shaped from our memories, which aren't always correct, are they?
Mm-hmm. Well, the memories are often unclear, imprecise. We have a convention in this play, however, that the memories are stylized and they're written in a stylized form of writing called prose verse. I call it prose verse, which is in fact verse, but it's very subtle. It sounds just like prose, but when you listen very closely, you find there are little hidden rhymes in there. And that gives the past a poetic truth, whereas the 2020 scenes of the old man looking back are all written in plain prose.
And it is interesting. I mean, I'm 67 now, and I look back more than I look forward, and I try to stop myself, but I think we do it to make sense of where we are. I was walking in today thinking of the 1987 storm and thinking about my dad and when he died and everything, and I was just thinking, gosh, that happened, and that's why I did this, and that's why I behaved like that, and I think that's why we look back. You know, people always say, don't look back. But I think we do it to make sense. And do you think that's what Alec is doing?
That's very much the theme of this play. He's searching for lost love. His first love, that was a 1960 moment that we heard there. He was only 20 years old, and the woman who was about to seduce him just as that clip stopped is twice his age. She was his beloved, and she died of eclampsia, expecting his child, actually. And ever since then, he's been searching, and he went on to have 2 other affairs in search for that lost love. But spoiler alert, he doesn't actually find it.
I'm really interested that the role of Alec is being played by Maurice Thorogood, because
you worked together in Rep, didn't you?
We worked together in Rep, and I always tell the story. We were in The Dame of Sark with Jean Anderson, the wonderful Jean, and he played a German officer. And I will always remember this, that to emulate the gravel drive of The Dame of Sark's drive, they had a cat tray in the literally in the wings, and Maurice had to step in the cat tray and walk up and down. I used to get absolutely hysterical. He really does corpse a lot, Maurice. I'm sure he doesn't in this, but I have such happy memories of him. We used to just fall about. How frustrating was it for you, Paddy, when the show opened and it previewed and then it closed? Was that due to COVID, or was it going to go off?
No, it's just the tough thing of getting a show on, because these days, as a writer, nobody takes any notice of you. So you've got to do everything yourself. Maurice has been an absolute rock in this. He's worked on this with me for 6 years, and it's a very long-standing project. I actually started writing this in 1999, and it had to lie unused for many years because at the year 2000, Alec was just out of his 3rd love affair, and he couldn't really look back because he was still licking his wounds. So I had to wait for another 20 years so that the 80-year-old man would be there, and now it all fits together. And Maurice has helped me immensely with this over the years.
Hopefully it will be picked up, because it's your dream for it to go on Radio 3. Yes, I think it should go on Radio 4.
It's an awkward length. It's 1 hour, 55 minutes. So it doesn't quite fit the Radio 4 schedule as nicely as
you're right.
It would fit
Radio 3. You're absolutely right. It's so lovely to speak to you, Paddy. And can I just say that Maurice Thorogood was playing Alec in the clip there, and Olivia Busby was playing Belinda. And the production is called 2020 Visions. And we were speaking to the wonderful Paddy Gormley.
So we're to draw our own conclusions from the music.
Maybe.
It's like life.
I'm sorry?
You've got to let it run its course. But you cannot be sure you understand it till... You're frightened.
No,
I'm all right.
I'm all right.
It's my birthday.
Oh, many happy...
So far, though, I've not had any presents.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Will you be my present?
How can...
Will you stay with me tonight?
Yes, please.
I so want to unwrap you.
Oh, please. Yes, please.
Who knows what might happen then?
Unforgettable. What a woman. What a night that was. Was it really 60 years ago?
2020 Visions by Paddy Gormley, with Maurice Thorogood as Alec, Georgia Riley as Alec's carer in his 80s, and his 3 lovers, Sarah Lawrie as Lucy in the year 2000, Sophie Morris-Sheppard as Natasha, 1980, Olivia Busby as Belinda, 1960. 2020 Visions is a 2020 audio drama company production.